All right, team, that was an absolute shit fight, but we are live. We are live. We're going to go live on Sideline FM as well. So bear with us. Obviously, nearly through the Warriors game now as well. We'll keep the YouTube chat open for the moment while people join on, but welcome. I think this is the first, the second live stream now that we've done on Big LEZ'S League YouTube, but first commentary that we're doing on Big LEZ'S League YouTube, I believe, in a very long time. So thank you guys for joining on. I really do appreciate it. We'll obviously get stuck into all of your questions, queries as well. At the conclusion of this game, it's got about 3 minutes to go. But I thought, why not get this game on? Just finish this one off because it does look like it's going to be a bit of a thriller. Obviously, the Warriors are up 18 points to 12 at the moment. So I thought may as well chuck this one on, see how we go. I tell you what, though, the Dragons are looking good. They're fighting hard, scrambling for everything. Warriors are giving it a lot. But I think the Dragons are doing a really good job here, especially the goal line D. It's been really good. So it should be a little bit of a thriller here, just a bit of a break in play. Again, send your questions into the YouTube chat. Also, Sideline FM listeners, let's get that open as well. Apologies as I knock my camera. Want to get that over into a different tab so we can see both. Awesome areas. Awesome areas. Alrighty. We are good here. Get your questions in. Marky. Hello, Marky. How are you, mate? Thanks for joining on. Thanks for giving your time. As I said, it's the first sort of commentary stream that we've done on the channel as well. So thanks for joining on. Really do appreciate it. Just joining on, obviously, for the back end of the Warriors and St. George, and then we'll get stuck in to a little bit of a mini preview, I guess, for the Tigers and the Bulldogs. And then we'll do a live review of all the games after all the footy is finished as well. What does that say there from Marky? Who's going to win in your opinion? Look, in this game, obviously the Warriors have just gone up by 2, so it's going to be pretty hard for the Dragons to get the job done here. In regards to the next game, Tigers and Dogs, it's going to be really interesting. I've gone with the Tigers as a bit of an upset play. I just like what the Tigers are doing. I not like what the Tigers are doing. They're pretty bang awful, to be fair, but I just think that the Tigers can turn it around. There's obviously a lot of the outside noise in regards to Luai and the situation there. I just feel like that's the motivation that they're going to want to thrive off that. I feel like Luai is that type of guy that loves the outside noise. He actually thrives off the back of it and loves to prove people wrong. So I think that he'll have one of those games. I think that you'll see, likes of Dewey have one of those strong performances again, like we've seen the last couple of weeks. Oh, yeah, Warriors have got it back. I think they're sweet here. I think they'll take it to the house here. I think that's it. I think that you'll see the Tigers really stand up. I think you see the Tigers really stand up, have a big performance. I know the Bulldogs obviously get Viliami Kickout back. That's going to be a massive inclusion for them. But I am going to go ahead and put my nuts on the chopping block, if you'd like. And I'm going to go with our mates, the West Tigers, for a bit of an upset play. What are we looking like for Sideline FM? We've got a couple people joining in. Good to see. Again, appreciate everyone that's joining on the YouTube, giving up their afternoon. Well, not giving up your afternoon. You're obviously watching the footy anyway, but you want a bit of different commentary. We'll obviously get more stuck into the commentary side of things once the next game kicks off. Just watching the back end of this one. As I said, we'll get into a little bit of a preview once this game is done as well. And any questions you have, throw them into the chat. More than happy to answer those for you guys as well. Got a nice little mention there from the Sideline FM team. Just got that on the old Apple Watch. Good to see a couple people joining in. Thank you, guys, if you're joining on to the live stream. Yeah, Warriors get it done. Well done. Well done. 20 points to 12. I'll tell you what, it was a gritty performance from the Dragons. It was a very gritty performance from the Dragons. Like, the Warriors middles could have absolutely rolled the Young Bucks there, but they did an exceptional job to stay in that contest. I think that says a lot about the Dragons, the young guys, their development, where they're sort of heading to. Like Dylan Egan's covered in blood. The Couchman boys, they're both exhausted. They would have played some big minutes in this game. Outstanding stuff. Outstanding. Look, getting our teeth stuck into the next game. Obviously, we've got our good friends, the Tigers, going up against the Bulldogs. For the Tigers side of things, as I was sort of alluding to before, I just feel like we're going to get to this game. It's going to be a bit of a grind. I think that this is going to be a very close game no matter who wins it, but I feel like the West Tigers and all the outside noise, Luai, all that sort of stuff, it just reeks of one of those games of, all these guys, they use that as fuel. They come out really hard and fast, and I think that they maybe get a bit of a run over the Dogs, who have a couple of errors in them at the moment. Obviously, another new spine or halves pairing in this one. Critter obviously not playing in this game. Sean O'Sullivan will be the 5'8". Now, Sean O'Sullivan could be the best thing for our good mate in Lockie Galvin. It could definitely be the best thing for him, but it's also another halves pairing that you've got in this team. And, and Sean O'Sullivan's played over the last couple of weeks. It has only been for a couple of minutes too. So it will be interesting to see what that pairing looks like and how they go. But I am pretty keen on the Tigers that they can get a bit of an upset here. I just feel like there'll be a little bit of discombobulation there with the Dogs. And I feel like we'll see the Tigers respond to a lot of the outside noise in regards to Luai and all the off-field stuff. So that's the way that I'm going to go. I'm going to go the Tigers. Marky, I hope that answers your question, mate. Any more questions that you've got, feel free to shoot them in the chat. I've sort of done myself a little bit of a service because where I've set this camera up, it's on my chair, my desk chair, and my desk chair is blocking the Sideline FM chat. I just double checked then. There's nothing in the chat yet, but guys, feel free to shoot anything in the YouTube or the Sideline FM chat. Now, for the YouTube fam, just with Sideline FM, you're probably listening to me talk and you're going, Sideline FM, what's that? Well, Sideline FM is, imagine like, when you're driving in your car and you can't get to a pub or you're back home in time and you're sort of listening to the footy through the audio. If you're just sick of, if you're pretty old school and you just want to listen to the audio, or even if you're watching Fox, you're watching Channel 9 and you're just sick of the mainstream commentary, and you want something a little bit different. Well, Sideline FM is that. Sideline FM is just the audio. So obviously it's good to do this with YouTube. You get a more visual thing. You get to see me, you get to see my reactions, but sometimes you just want the audio. Sometimes you just want the commentary, the calls, what we think in the big moments as well. And that's what Sideline FM does. It's just the audio. What they're doing is really, really good. So they just gave a little cheer thing as well. That's the good thing with Sideline FM, guys. You'll probably hear a couple of those throughout the stream. You can push little noises and stuff. I know that when I did the Rabbitohs Radio Origin call, they threw a couple of reactions and whatnot through there as well. So Sideline FM, they're definitely one of the better guys in the business when it comes to just the audio side of things. And obviously, when it comes to that audio-only commentary, you're watching the footy on Fox or on Channel 9. I know Channel 9 as well, sometimes those guys can get a little bit annoying to listen to. So come listen to Big Les instead. Come to listen to Ruck Infringement, I think, is on here as well. It's another rugby league podcast. Then you've got some AFL ones as well if you're pretty multi-sport. That's what you can be looking at there with Sideline FM. I've got another question in the YouTubes and in the sidelines. So what does Sideline FM say? Sorry, guys. This is going to be terrible viewing for the YouTube. It was just the sound effect. Awesome stuff. And then Matthew said, who should the Rabbitohs re-sign for this year? Who should the Rabbitohs re-sign for next year, maybe? Who should the Rabbitohs re-sign? Well, look, It's a great question. Who's off contract for the Bunnies at the moment? Just trying to think off the top of my head. I've actually had an absolute mind blank. This is great podcasting and great live streaming. Who is off contract for the South Sydney Rabbitohs at this current stage? That might be one for the Googles. We might have a little bit of a look on zero tackle while we wait for the next game, actually. Bear with us. Just in the meantime, obviously, to fill the noise, guys, as I said, might be the perfect game for the Tigers to respond to some of the outside noise. That obviously has transpired over the last, 48 to 72 hours with Luai, obviously going to the Parramatta Eels and that all unfolding. Benji Marshall, his comments, obviously feeling the loss there of a guy like Jerome Luai, who, was going to be the plan for the West Tigers as well moving forward. He obviously walks out of the building and now they're sort of, making changes for the long-term future of the West Tigers. And a part of that is obviously releasing Luai early. Players off contract 2027, 2026. Let's have a look. So it should go by team as well. By team. Let's have a look. So for the Rabbitohs, according to Zero Tackle, now this is, 90, I'd say between 85 and 90% correct. You obviously got Adam Elliott off contract. Look, he's just got another injury where he's going to be out for quite a while. So I'm not too sure what the situation is there with Adam Elliott. He would have been good to have a couple more games this year. The games he has played for the Bunnies, he's actually been really good. So I do think that he'd be a guy to sort of look at, depending on, how old he is and what his body's doing as well. That's obviously going to be the main thing, and how many spots we've got in our top 30. We obviously get Payne Haas in next year as well, so you sort of don't need him. But he's definitely a good locker room guy too, Adam Elliott. He's a really great human, and I think that he definitely deserves an opportunity. You've got young Moala, Graham Tolfer as well that we got from the Warriors. He hasn't had too many opportunities this year. I think he's had one or two games and actually looked quite good. The West Tigers are starting to walk out. It looks like Api Coruscant is playing. He's in a blue bib, so maybe he's on the six-man bench. That's really good news. They're getting Jared Hayward a bit of a crack, it looks like, so that's really good. Sorry, getting a bit distracted. Jamie Humphries is going to be going. It's pretty obvious that he will be leaving at the end of the season. It won't be... look, I mean, Souths have offered him a deal. It's a minimum wage deal. He's decided, obviously, to negotiate with Perth, and Perth have thrown some money at him. Apparently, that was in the last stages of the negotiation, and then he's decided, nah, you know what, it's not the move for me. And it is a big risk for him. He's a Sydney lad, and his family's out this way, you'd imagine. So it would be a big adjustment and a big move for him, going all the way over there to Perth. So you can understand why he'd backflip out of that. Sean Keppie, I'm hearing that we've offered Sean Keppie a deal. It looks like we're going to re-sign him, so I think that's going to happen. Liam LeBlanc's a guy I'd definitely re-sign. I think he was going to go to the Bulldogs at a stage, but that obviously fell through. He stayed at the Rabbitohs. I definitely think he's a guy that's worth re-signing as well. Max McCarthy might be one of the unlucky young blokes that probably finds a different deal elsewhere. As much as I love Max McCarthy, the young bloke there, I think that he's probably going to be the unlucky one. I think the biggest name on this list, the last, and we've saved the best for last in regards to the conversation here, is probably Cody Walker, to be fair. Cody Walker is going to be the big one. Do we re-sign him? Do we not? For me, I think that just based off the fact that we don't have a clear option for who that next guy is going to be, I probably say... I would probably say that you'd have to think about re-signing him. But yeah, it depends on, if they've got a plan. If Wayno's got a plan, we know that Wayno is a bit of a deep thinker. So it'll be interesting to see what he wants to do. Obviously, we're about to kick off here, guys, so we'll save some of the questions for a little bit later on, especially regarding the Rabbitohs, because it is the Dogs and the Tigers as we kick off. And big boy Max King is the man to take the first carry there. Sorry, just replying to a message there from a commenter on one of the posts. Alrighty. We're in. Good little first set there from the Doggies. Obviously getting to about the 40-meter line there. Beautiful kick put through by SOS, and it's a 40-20. That is huge. First set of the game, 40-20 there from SOS to get them in some pretty solid field position. That's massive. That looked like it was just going to be the old conservative kick. Always had a bit of a swang back to the outside, and Jareen Buller wasn't expecting a 40-20 this early into the game. He wasn't as close to the sideline, and there you go. What a start. What a start. Leo Thompson's in jersey. Is he in jersey? No, he's in jersey 10. I thought he was in jersey 19 for a second there. So did they get him an extra small by accident? What's going on there? Bailey Hayward, he's going to play the ball. Lockie Galvin and our man Connor Tracy, 5 meters out from the try line. What can the Doggies throw up here? Bailey Hayward, he's going to go to Galvin. Galvin to Salmon. Salmon, he goes out the back. They're going to go a bit of a shift play to the left-hand side, and it's going to go to Jethro Rinakama, who scores the try in that left corner. And it's the Doggies that start us off very strong here with a beautiful first set. Beautiful first set into a try there off the back of a Sean O'Sullivan 40-20, which, mind you, I definitely wasn't expecting. To be fair, I was half distracted during that set. Had to reply to one of the comments in the comment section of the Instagrams. By the way, guys, if you are new to the channel, you're just joining on to listen to the commentary, Big LEZ'S League, go give us a follow. Instagram, we post a couple of different jersey mock-ups as well, players in different jerseys based off the rumors in and around the NRL. Also have some discussions about players that are off contract. That was probably one of the comments that I was replying to there, just in regards to one we just recently did up about Jack DeBellin off the back of the rumors that he will potentially not be getting upgraded there at the Parramatta Eels. But good little try there from Jethro Rinakama. Good little start for him as well. Like, obviously, it's just the first set of the game, but, had a bit of a rough week last week. Good to get him a try on the board. And 6 games, 6 tries this year as well for Jethro. So good little start to the year for him. What have we got here in regards to questions? Payne will wear the number 10 jersey for the Rabbitohs for next year. You'd have to think so. Don't think he's wearing number 11. That's for free. That's for sure. Burton. Oh, that is as close as you can get to missing there. He's sort of skimmed the post and it's gone in, which is, I'll tell you what, if you're a Dogs fan, that would get the heart beating there for a couple of seconds. But the Doggies are up 6-0. The Doggies are up 6 points to 0. What a great start to the game. Sideline FM, bit of a mention on the story as well. Repost that to my feed. If you are joining on Sideline FM, thank you as well. Definitely trying to grow that base as well. We're going to do a couple of these games throughout the year. I don't think I'll be able to do anything next week. I'll be in Bathurst for the weekend, which is going to be freezing cold, but it's also going to be nice. Going to see the family up there, so I won't be able to do anything as far as commentary goes next week. But from the following week onwards, we're going to try and do this once a week. So that'll be for Sideline FM and for YouTube. We did have some Barney rubble getting this set up on YouTube, but it was nice and seamless on Sideline FM, so you know what you're going to get there. Doggies obviously just getting to the halfway point of their second set after points. Our first set after points, but second set of the game. As Jacob Preston takes a nice little carry there, just gets them to the 50-meter line or just short of it. Bailey Hayward play the ball. We're going to go out to that left side again. Sean O'Sullivan, he's going to take the ball on into the line. Last tackle now. Opposition 40. We're going to get a nice bobbing box kick here from Lockie Galvin. Burton gets up for an aerial contest. Hayward passes it off to Tracy. Tracy inside ball to Jethro. Jethro doesn't know what to do with it. He's going to take the tackle there. In good field position. It's a great start from the Bulldogs. I thought we'd see this start from the West Tigers, to be fair, but, they just haven't had much ball. This will be their first opportunity with the ball in the first 5 minutes of this game. Outstanding start from the Bulldogs. Obviously, first set of the game, 40-20 into try. Second set of the game, well, the West Tigers, they'll be starting their set on the 20-meter line. working their way out of their own end. Our man Sunil Taruva's wrapped up there on third tackle. They're matching it in defense. The Tigers have only now just made 10 meters from where the set ended for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs as Hayward gets it out to our man Alex Twall on a one pass. It's going to be last tackle. They're going to finish their set on a similar position to where the Dogs finished their first. And Adam Dewey's going to put a pretty similar kick up, but it's going to curve back in and sit right in the chest of Jethro Rinikama as he takes it back out now to that 30-meter line. Play the ball. Burton's trying to get it back to midfield. Offload. Getting it out to that right-hand side, and Arachuala is away. He'd prefer someone a little bit faster outside him, but he's got Jacob Preston. He doesn't use him. He's going to play the ball now on the 20-meter line. Galvin, he comes out of dummy half, passes it out to Salmon. Salmon looks to be playing a bit of lock forward here as our man SOS throws it over the top, sends an SOS to our man Jethro Rinikama, who's tackled just before the try line. It's second tackle, and they're going to say he's knocked it on. They're going to say he's knocked it on, so really good set. They're going to challenge it, actually, and the new referee here, I think his name's Goff or Koff or something, his last name, the new referee that's only just debuted last week against for the Storm and Titans game. I believe he's got a touch footy background. He's got a touch footy and rugby league background, I believe. This new referee, we might as well get his name. He didn't have a profile last week, so it was pretty hard to find any details on him. We had to put his name into Google, and the only thing that came up was his touch footy highlights. So shout out to him. We're going to get his full name up here as we get the team list up. Bear with me. Yeah, they still haven't made a profile for him yet. The referee. Hopefully we hear it through commentary. You guys obviously can't hear the commentary due to copyright reasons, but we can slightly hear it. If there's any captain's challenges or anything, we'll be able to take a bit of a listen for you guys. We might as well put the link to the live stream on our story too, actually, so our followers and fans can jump on in. Any more questions that you guys have, flick them through. Can the Rabbitohs beat the Storm next Friday? I think they can, mate. I think the Storm's a pretty beatable side without their key men in there. Well, there we go. The Bulldogs on the try line again. Galvin, he's going to put a kick through. And it's Curran. I think Curran's got this down. Now, Curran was named at lock. It looks like he's playing back row. And it looks like Salmon has moved back into that 13 position. But it's Curran that's going to score the second try. What a start from the Bulldogs. They have started very hot and fast here. Really throwing this side off guard. Galvin loves to really just test the try line there. He loves to put a little kick through and really just test out those defenders, particularly in the middle point of the tackle count, sometimes a little bit early. But if he sees an opening, he's just going to go for it, Galvin. It's one of the things I really like about him. So really good start here from the Dogs. It has been really about just taking chances. That's what they've done in this game. Just posting the link now. We'll put our phone away pretty soon. Maybe just to keep an eye on the old chat as well for any questions. But great start from the Bulldogs. I mean, for them to obviously 40-20 first set into them obviously just second set of the game, good field position, really matched it with their defense. And then off an opportunity of a Tigers error, they just bounce on. And Galvin puts a kick through. All of a sudden, the Bulldogs are about to be 12-0 up as Burton slots that kick. It's only 8.5 minutes gone in this game so far. If you guys are watching, then obviously it is a little bit delayed. It's naturally going to be a little bit delayed when there is commentary. We are watching, it is 31-32. So there's a minor stoppage, but it is 31-32 on the clock on Fox League coverage live. That's where we're watching from currently at this moment. And the West Tigers have just kicked off. So if you want to level up your screens or whatever to match the commentary here, it is 31-24. All right, story posted. We are all good. Let's go. Galvin. He's going to play the ball on third. Salmon's going to go for a little run. Chooses the little hooker there in Hayward and runs straight over him. Hayward's going to have a little dart on dummy half. It's one of the first games we've really seen him do so as well. A question there about Latrell. It looks like he is probably another 2 or 3 weeks away. So, yeah, probably 2 weeks, obviously, from next week. So next week, the week after, he should be back the following game. Latrell Mitchell. As Twally takes a run, it's going to be fourth tackle here as Hayward. He's going to get the ball out to Safar to Dewey to Buller to Toa. And Toa's going to be tackled just close to the 50-meter line. They're going to go short side on last. Dewey puts a little kick through. Good little chase there. And Tracy's going to be tackled. He's going to be wrapped up, but in not the worst field position here. They're starting their set. Well, after this tackle, it'll be on their 30-meter line. So not a bad little start here for the Doggies in regards to this set. Offload. The offloads have been very, very apparent here in this game so far. Plenty of offloads to start us off. Hayward gets into dummy half on third. They're going to go short side here. Little short play to Burton just to try and get him running the ball a little bit more. They didn't give him a lot of space there. You generally want Burton with time when running the footy. Plenty of gaps in the defensive line. That time they just didn't give him a lot of space as Preston takes it back to the other side of the field. Last tackle now. Galvin's going to put a bomb up. Midfield bomb. Contest between Buller and Tracy, and Buller does just fine. Buller's going to play the ball now. Safar. He's going to go out to our man Skeleton, who just got absolutely rocked there by our man Max King, it looks like. Nice little run there from Makasini. It's going to be third tackle. Sania Taruva's going to run it. What does that comment say? This big Les, where's Sassy at? It's not that type of show, mate. Not that type of show. I appreciate you watching on, brother. I appreciate you watching on. Funnily enough, a little bit of backstory for you guys listening, a bit of an exclusive. Big Les actually did come from the Big Les show. When I was in primary school, we actually, in wet weather, we did it one time. We put on the Big Les show. And this was in year 5 or 6. Anyway, watched it, loved it, watched it a lot after that. And then, sort of started doing the impression at school and we had a couple of quotes memorized. Don't know a lot of them off the top of my head now. But then obviously was wearing glasses quite a lot back then as well. And just the shape of the glasses. I obviously had maybe a couple of kilos on me back in year 6 as well. Keep in mind, I was probably this size too, by the way. I haven't grown much since year 6, if that's not hard to believe. And I used to look and sound like Big Les at a stage there. So that's where the nickname actually came from. I've been called Big Les ever since. So if you're wondering where Big Les has come from, that's actually where the nickname has come from. I used to have glasses. And I used to look and sound like Big Les when I used to do the little accent at school after after watching the show, and we watched it for a very long time after that as well. Love the Big Les show. I might have to chuck those glasses back on, actually, reading a couple of these comments. Do you even exhale? What do you mean? When you smoke, do you exhale it? I don't smoke. Hope that helps. Max King. We're going to go left side. Galvin. Oh, that short ball was on. It just went way too high. That was a shocking pass from Galvin. That was on. It was on down that left. It was definitely on down that left. It was a good play, but fuck, that ball was just a little bit too high. And look, I mean, he got it away quickly, which is what you want in that scenario, but fuck, it was a little bit too high just for our man Birdo. Will Ben Hornby be the next Dragons head coach? Well, look, he's one of the guys in the running at the moment. He's one of the guys in the moment that's in the running. They've also obviously got Dean Young there. I have a little feeling that they might talk to a couple of those coaches that have been sacked over the last 18 months, even further before that as well. So, I mean, this is going to come off as a little bit controversial, so keep your hats on and don't leave the stream, but wouldn't be shocked if maybe Des Hasler is that last guy that they're talking to. I think that Dean Young is definitely the right choice just because, you know, obviously he's a club legend. It makes the most sense. I do think, though, that he might be one of those guys or even a Seabold or one of these sort of guys, even though it sucks, and I probably wouldn't be going near those guys. I'd probably be leaving them in assistant coaching roles for the next couple of years. Even for Desi just moving forward, I think he'd be a great defensive assistant. But I have a feeling that one of those guys is going to be the other ones that they're talking to, just because when you're picking a head coach as well, it's all good and well to have a couple of these ex-players. And I think Ben Hornby and Dean Young are good because they've been in and around the modern game. But the thing is, if you're picking an ex-player that's never coached in the NRL before, and particularly hasn't coached even in the pathways and stuff like that, similar to what we were sort of saying about Laurie Daly when he got picked as New South Wales coach, he hasn't been around the modern game. Like, he hasn't coached around the modern game. And so it is quite a bit of a weird adjustment from a lot of these guys who were probably playing in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, haven't really been involved in the game much, sort of just maybe come back in a pathways role or something like that, but actually haven't been around the modern game for a long time. So it is all good and well to throw up a couple of these ex-players, but I think that when you're looking for, you know, what's the best of both worlds in that scenario, Ben Hornby's probably that, and Dean Young's probably that. Like, Dean Young's been around the modern game for ages. He's obviously been at the Cowboys and the Dragons. He's been between the two since he's got into a bit of coaching, and, you know, Ben Hornby's been at South for a little while. So both of those guys have recently been in and around the modern game. So I think that that's obviously the two best options. I think that they'll go with one of those. I do feel like the third option is going to be one of those wild cards that you just don't expect, like a Des or like a Seabold, you know, one of these sort of guys. You know, I'm sure you guys will be able to throw up a couple other options as well, as to some guys that will be thrown up for that role. But I just feel like that's the circle that they're going to be looking at. You want someone that's been in the modern game recently and coached in the modern game recently. Can you show us the game? I can't show you the game, but I definitely need to start commentating a little bit more because we did go on a bit of a tangent there. I appreciate the feedback. Let's get stuck into the footy. It is still 12-0. They're going to go for a little short side play off the scrum here. It's about 23:46. So if you are watching the footy the same time that you're listening to me jibber jabber, 23:40 is the time on my Fox League from where I'm watching it from. So if you want to switch over and join on, or start watching and listen to me talk while you have the footy on in the background, That's where I'm watching from. Bulldogs very close to the try line there, probably for their third try of the game. Haywood, Galvin, tried a short pass there to Curran, but it's not going to matter because they get an offload and get it out to Rinakama for his second try. 3 tries in just less than 20 minutes. He's absolutely insane. They're playing some really good footy. I mean, at the start of the game, obviously with the 40-20 there, and then they score off the next play. Second set, really good yardage. Opportunity near the try line there, and they pretty much capitalize off that straight away. And they've been getting good field position since with their sets, even though they've lacked a little bit of direction and they've just been taking chances. They've been very dominant so far, the Doggies. And, the short ball to Curran didn't work on that play, but O'Sullivan caught it, has the experience to tip it on the right way. Burton gets it out to Rinakama, and there you go. Who are you going for? Look, I've tipped the West Tigers. I don't support any of these sides. I'm a Rabbitohs supporter. I do my own podcast on rugby league as well, Big LEZ'S League, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, obviously on the YouTubes as well. Just started to get into a bit of the commentary. Did it for Rabbitohs Radio, doing Origin 3. We're going to start doing it pretty concurrently, hopefully over the next couple of weeks. Not next week because we'll be away, as we mentioned at the start of the show. We'll be out in Bathurst, so won't be able to do too much from there. But once I get back for the following weeks after that, so around 22 onwards, we'll be good as gold to pretty much do it once a week. And we might even be doing it for a different provider as well, if a couple of things go to plan towards the back end of the season. The try's been taken off them there. Try has been taken off them. Look, it won't matter too much. They're in a pretty good attacking zone. If they defend as well as they have for the majority of this game, and they keep them in their own end, and the kick's not great, and then they start their set even close to the 30, I think the Dogs are equally enough of a chance with how good they've been just getting into the red zone, or potentially scoring a point in the next couple of sets anyway. So they've been really dominant. This Bulldog side, as you see, from the 20-meter line, Skelton gets dragged back and is nearly back in his in-goal. 3 to a tackle here for the Bulldogs. They're really giving this Tigers side a little bit of strife. Coruscant's only just got on. He's got a bit of a black eye there already. Good to see. You can see a couple of blue love hearts here. Bulldogs fan in the chat, thanks for joining on. Appreciate it. Guys, if you like the call, or if you're taking a look at the YouTube channel while you're watching on and you like the content, you like what you see, give us a follow Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube. Obviously, we're getting plenty of content up on here as well. We've got a weekly show as well, Momentum, which is myself and former Dragons player Jake Marchetto. We analyze every single game every single week, do a review show. I think he'll be back for the next one. We've also got Sophie Curtin, who used to play in the NRLW, covering NRLW content, but also filling in for Jakey when he's away working on Run Nation. He's one of the coaches for Run Nation at the moment. So he's sorting a couple of things out with that. But usually our NRL show is myself and Jake Marchetto, former Dragons player, and the NRLW show, Utility Mode, that is former NRLW player trying to get back into the NRLW, playing currently with the South Sydney Rabbitohs, Sophie Curtin. As a bomb goes up here in good field position for the Tigers, but cleaned up by our man Rinakama. He's been very good tonight, been a lot better under the high ball. He was tested last week against Canberra, but he looks a lot more comfortable under the high ball. He did very well there. Did very, very well there, Jethro. 10 metres away from their own line as Rinakama takes a tough carry. Here we go. Haywood. He's going to go to Tracy. Tracy's going to take another tough carry running straight at Sione Fino. I'll tell you what, it's not the guy that I'd be running straight at just quietly, but there wasn't too many options for him. Galvin's going to go for an early kick. Almost looked like a 20-40 in the air for a second there, but it was more midfield than that. And Buller's going to be, he's wrapped it up well. He's gone to ground. It's pretty decent field position there. just now getting to the 50-meter line, the Tigers. So great place to start your set. Makasini, nice little carry there. Coruscant, short side, Dewey. Dewey's nearly broken through there. Good little tackle from SOS there. Play the ball on the right-hand side of the field. It's last. Luai's going to put up a kick. He's been a little bit quiet this game, but to be fair, the Tigers haven't had a lot of ball. Jethro, very safe under that ball. So much better compared to last week. You can see that he's worked on his catching of those high balls, and he's been a lot better this weekend. He's been a lot better. I'm sure that Bulldogs fans will be happy with him so far. Bit of confidence off the 2 tries. He's doing a really good job under those high balls there, young Jethro. Midfield here, they're going to finish their set on their 50. It's a lot more resilient defense here from this West Tigers side. Obviously, they don't want to give up any more points in this game. 3 tries scored from the Bulldogs, 1 denied out of those 3. So it is still 12-0. About 19 minutes to go exactly now. So that's where we're watching from, team. If you are watching on with us and you want to change over the KO or the wherever you're watching from to the right time, I think it's only on KO and Foxtel this game. So up to you guys. Sania Taruva. He's going to start the set on the 30. Terrell May. Jesus, Terrell. I feel like Terrell May hasn't had too many runs this half. Is that just me? I feel like he's only had about 5 runs. They nearly went for a 40-20 out of the dummy half there. Abby Coruscant didn't get it. Guys, feel free, send through some more questions. I've been reading mainly the YouTube ones just because of the fact I can't really see the sideline ones. But if you are on Sideline FM and you want your questions answered, send them through. And then I'll take a little photo of the sideline chat and we can start to answer a couple of those at halftime. Matthew, mate, I know you're asking a bunch of Rabbitohs questions and I do appreciate it. We'll get to those on Rabbitohs Radio. I'll start to be on Rabbitohs Radio a little bit more concurrently over the next couple of weeks. So we'll get to a couple of those questions. Save them for Rabbitohs Radio. I appreciate that you're jumping on, you're asking questions. Appreciate you, Keen. You've been a follower for a long time, so I appreciate you. But we'll jump into Rabbitohs Radio a little bit later, maybe next week, and I can answer a couple of those questions for you, or even shoot us some DMs, mate. We'll have a chat. Jamin Salmon plays the ball there. Good field position for the Dogs here again. They're going to go right side. Presto offload. Tuala. Wow, what a try. He had bugger all room there. That room was just getting less and less. He obviously goes into the corner there, puts the ball down. I want to see the replay here of this one. What a try there from Tuala. Good stuff. It's a nice little run there from Kiraz. He gets an offload to Preston. Might have been a touch forward, but it doesn't matter in the great game of rugby league, especially if you have any of these guys in Supercoach. Right side, good little shift play. Presto offloads. That's been the key for the Dogs. It's just been those offloads. Those offloads have really hurt this Tigers team. Really hurt them in this game, particularly through the middle of the field. It's what's been great and just continuing their sets, just drawing a little bit of fatigue in and around the middle of the ruck in this first half. Helped with their field position a little bit, but great work from Tuala. Like, bugger all room. Jareen Buller was gaining in on him, and he gets the ball down in the corner. I want to put it to you guys, the YouTube chat, the sideline chat. Anara Tuala this season, where does he rank in regards to centres form-wise this year, Anara Tuala? Would you have him top 3? Would you have him top 5? Is he in your top 10? Let me know. Anara Tuala this year form-wise, where does he sit for you guys? Let me know in the YouTube and Sideline FM comments. Sideline FM listeners, don't worry, you're not being ignored. We're going to get to your questions at halftime. Just with the fact that I can't really see your questions at this stage. YouTube listeners, let us know though. Anari Chuala, where do you think form-wise this season, 2026, he ranks for centers? For me, I'd probably say he'd be in my top 3 form-wise. Maybe top 5. Top. It feels awkward saying top 3 just with Anari Chuala. He's had a very mixed career. Obviously, Newcastle. It's still like it does feel a little bit awkward. But like he's had a terrific season. Like filling in for the Dogs this year. Obviously didn't get too many opportunities last year, but this year he's been unbelievable when he's filled in, whether it be center, whether it be wing. He's done a really good job. So for me, I'd probably say he's been. I'd go top. Well, I mean, let's have a think. Herbie's been really good. Simi Sasangi's been really good. If you want to put Tallis Duncan in that conversation as well. Tallis Duncan. Like, there's a couple there. I'd probably say top 5 in Chuala. Top 5 form centers this year. It's a good day to be a Raiders. What does that say? It's a good day to be a Raiders supporter. I can back. What does that say? I can sit back and watch all these other games now. Yeah. Yes, you can. Look, wasn't a great performance from us Bunnies. We'll get into it a little bit later on. We do the review at the end of this stream. But yeah, tough day out for the Bunnies. Like, they played well in that second half for sure, but you guys were pretty terrific in that first half. I'm sure it would have still been a little bit of a hearts racing areas in that second half, or at least the majority of that second half for you guys, because South did a pretty solid effort to come back there. They nearly obviously did, but credit to you guys. Really good defense. At the late stages of that game, the Raiders pretty much did a Rabbitohs on the Rabbitohs from what we did against Newcastle. To be completely fair, it's almost a carbon copy of that game, but the scripts are flipped. Weeks and Strain try amazing. Once Weeks had the ball, you knew it was a try. Yeah, I know. Weeks is just too quick. Like, I don't know why. I had a little bit of a glimmer of hope that Dufty would get him on the outside, but that was just false hope there. He's a freak, Weeks. I'd probably say that Weeks is, with how big in the body he actually is, Kyo Weeks, I'd probably say that he'd be the fastest player in the NRL. Like, Tolu Cooler's up there. Saab's up there, obviously, when he gets into full flight, but he hasn't realistically been at full flight a lot this year. Yeah, for me, it's probably Kyo Weeks, to be fair. I think he's the fastest player in the NRL. Weeks pushing for Origin fullback. Next couple years, maybe. I think at the moment it's Teddy or Edwards, or potentially, depending on fitness, Tom Trbojevic, but he just sort of creeps in and out of that conversation for me week to week, to be fair. But I'd probably say at this stage, I'd have Edwards next year, even though Tedesco was good in game 1 and had a couple of moments. Obviously, a couple of moments he would want to take back as well. But, it wasn't the overall amazing series from Tedesco, but he did his job. He's a part of a winning series. Sometimes you back those guys in. Tedesco doesn't. No one else does that moment that Tedesco had in the back end of game 1 for us to win it. So I think it's Teddy at this stage, but it's actually, for me, it'd be Edwards at this stage, just because this is my argument. Like, you can make a bunch of arguments for Tedesco, like I've just done. And I sort of almost convinced myself that you've just got to keep Tedesco in there. The reason I'm going Edwards is because, you obviously want game breakers in your team. I just feel like you can have a lot of these game breakers. You'll have Latrell back, Critter, Bradman Best I'd have in there for sure next year. I think you just can't have him out of the side at all. I think he's going to be one of the first guys picked. So you can have all these game breakers in your team. You've got Cleary, depending on which way you want to go between Strange and obviously Moses for next year in the halves as well. Like you can have game breakers all over the park. Sometimes you don't need a whole team of them, and sometimes there can be too many chefs in the kitchen when you do get to that big moment. A lot of these guys will want to have that moment, and as much as I think Tedesco sort of sat back a little bit more now, and he's a lot more like plays off the back of what his team's doing, especially at the Roosters when you've got a lot of stars there. But for me, I just feel like you can have a bit of a balance where you can have an Edwards with a bunch of game breakers like your Latrells and maybe a Tom Travojevic in the back line somewhere, Brian To'o, depending on what happens there. You've obviously got Bradman Best, as I said. You'll have a team of game breakers, Critter. I just feel like you can balance that out well with an Edwards at 1. Edwards had one of the best games against the Broncos. Yeah, I know. He was unbelievable against the Broncos. Absolutely unbelievable. All right, about 10 minutes to go in the first half. It is 18-0. Obviously, the Bulldogs have been very dominant in this game. Very, very dominant. Tries to Rinakama, Curran. Obviously, the second Rinakama try got denied, but we did have Anari Chihuahua go over a couple of minutes ago as Viliama Kikau's onto the field. A couple of damaging runs there so far since he's come on a couple of minutes ago, but Galvin's going to be wrapped up here by Dewey. Salmon's lost the ball there. Oh, that's tough. The Bulldogs have been very good. Good field position. I feel like, it's tough to say after that pass, but I think that Coruscant has added a little bit since coming on, a little bit of creativity. I just want to see him. The Bulldogs aren't really allowing for too much just with how quick they are with their line speed at the moment, but just want to see Coruscant maybe start to poke his nose out of dummy half a little bit more and start to create a couple of opportunities, because the big thing about the Bulldogs is they're offloading and they're taking chances. The Tigers are playing pretty conservative, and when they do sort of start to chance their arm a little bit, there are a couple of errors in them. So just want to see the Tigers start to offload the footy, start to take some chances now. Look, 12 obviously wrapped up there just after the 50-metre line. There were 3 defenders on him and not too much chance for offload unless they wanted an intercept. But Rinakama's just let that bounce. Jesus, he's been so safe under the high ball. The last thing you want to do is let one bounce. I think the Tigers need to start taking a couple more chances and play a bit more like the Dogs, because the Dogs are where they are because they've offloaded the footy, because they've taken a couple of scoots. Hayward's starting to poke his nose through. Galvin's running the footy and getting deep into the line. Like, they're just playing a lot more of a chance your arm game of footy, where the Tigers are, in comparison, a little bit more conservative. But then again, as I said, the line speed and the defense, just getting 3 in a tackle each time, it's just completely nullifying a lot of what the Tigers are trying to do, to be completely honest. Bro, what's that mic sound so good? Look, this is I think it's a Rode. I'm pretty sure it's Rode. I actually borrowed this one off the Rabbitohs radio crew, plugging it into a Rodecaster. So it is a podcast mic. I do run my own podcast on footy, so try and get the good tech to match that as well. But Rode, if you're looking to start a podcast, if you are looking to go through with it and you want to make an investment, Rode is definitely the way to go down. There's a good little store if you're in the Sydney area in Alexandria. Not too sure what it's called. It's not too. The names escape me. I've had a mind blank when it comes to the name of that store, but there's a really good store there that can get you kitted up there with Rodecaster, which is the box thing with a couple of the buttons and stuff you can plug the mics into, and obviously these are all pretty professional mics with leads. So I appreciate it, mate. Appreciate that you like the sound of the mic. the crisp, dulcet tones of Big Leslie. I appreciate it. Luai's getting a little bit frustrated here. I'll tell you what, this game is not going the way I thought it would. I thought that the Tigers would be probably ahead by a little bit. I thought they'd be doing pretty much the opposite of what the Dogs are doing to them now. I think I thought that the Tigers would be doing to the Dogs what the Dogs are doing to the Tigers right now and just constricting them. But they look very frustrated at the moment, the Tigers. They look very frustrated. Another error off a scrum. Taruvan was going for the intercept there off Kira's flick. But obviously didn't come off, so apologies, bit of indigestion there. The Doggies will get the ball back on the 50 off a scrum. Kiraz is going to go for a similar play. Gets back on the inside of Hamasi, but Luai's there to meet him, so he's going to get wrapped up right on that 50-metre line. Galvin out to our man Harry Hayes, who's on the field now. Obviously coming off the bench with Curran starting in the back row and Salmon moving back to 13 as Samuel Afine tries to put a bit of a shot on here. But the ball gets away to Jamin Salmon, who's going to play the ball now. Six again here for the Doggies. They're going to start a brand new set. 30 metres out as they spread the ball left and inside ball to Viliami Kikau, who has a nice little run there back in the middle of the field. They're going to set themselves up nicely as Hayward pokes his nose at a dummy half. Salmon gets it out to Harry Hayes off a two-pass. Harry Hayes offload. Again, the offload's killing the West Tigers at the moment. They get the ball out wide. Kiraz on the right side. Kiraz steps outside to Chuala. Chuala, he'll take a bit of a conservative tackle. He knows it's only second, so he's going to play the ball there on the right touch line as it comes back in midfield. Double unders there for Lockie. Lockie's going to get it out to Sean O'Sullivan. Couple of passes, and it finds Matt Burton, who's going to play the ball on the opposite side of the field. They're going end-to-end. They need to run straight. They needed a couple of runs to go straight there. They're getting a bit too excited, the Bulldogs. They need to set up at one post for a play here, which they've done. Left post for short side play. But Burton unfortunately drops that ball, and the Bulldogs, I think, just get a little bit too excited. They're up by 18 points, playing good footy. I just feel like they've got a little bit too excited there. They needed to be a lot more conservative. Not conservative, but just have a bit more direction, like right post for a left spread, left post for a right spread. Like they needed to just find their spots better. They're up by 18 points, sure, but with how dominant they've been in this game, sometimes it's not about, like, you can, obviously, we've talked about how they've taken risks and they've played a little bit off the cuff, the Dogs, and it's worked in their favour for a large portion of this game. But part of really constricting a team is also by doing the simple things well, getting and finding your spots on the field. And the Doggies failed to do that as the Tigers' third tackle, and they're going to be on the 50-metre line here. And Dewey's going to take a run. He's going to be tackled 40 metres out. It's going to go short side here, right short side. Sione Fainu, he's going to take it down there. They're 30 metres out. Last tackle, Dewey. I think it's going to be a nice little conservative box kick, which it is. Oh, Tracy did such a good job there. And they're going to get a penalty for the... Oh, no, they're not. No, play continue. I did hear a whistle go, but they're going to play on. Must have been a change in the bunker. Rinakama's going to take it on second, getting just past the 20-metre line. So again, the West Tigers, they're trying to be a little bit more physical with their defence and keep the Dogs in their own end. Again, they're trying to replicate what the Dogs have been doing this game, just getting 3 in a tackle, really trying to constrict this Bulldogs team. Oh, Jesus. Little shirt grab there from Sione Fainu on Lockie Galvin, the former teammate, as Sean O'Sullivan kicks it deep. Buller's going to work it out here. He's going to be met by Kikau strongly on that 20. I'm going to tell you what, top 10 guys not to run at. I think Kikau is probably right up there. Skeleton, he's going to play the ball now as well. Cottisau, He hands it off to Stafford Toa. Third tackle now, about 1:40 to go in this first half. Luai, he gets wrapped up on the 30. Going to go left. Last tackle now. Adam Dewey, he's going to put a bomb up. They're going to try something. It's going very close to the sideline. Jesus, Tracy did well to stay in there. Holy moly. You'd probably argue that ball goes close to going out in the full, to be fair, off that bomb, but Tracy's done very well to wrap that up. Very well done. Rinakama, he's tackled. Play the ball. Left side now, Burton. Burton's going to try and run, but he's met by Latufanu, who appears to be defending on the edge at this stage. Maybe just coming out there to make some tackles early in the tackle count and lead with his defense. They're going to get it back closer to the middle now. Kiraz wrapped up on that 40-meter line. 30 seconds to go. Salmon, he gets past the 50. Good run from Salmon. 25 seconds to go on the clock. It's fifth tackle. And Sean O'Sullivan, he's been doing a lot of the kicking in this game. He's going to put one up high. You'd argue that O'Sullivan's probably been at stages more of the halfback. They've sort of found a little bit of a balance here. The Doggies, when it comes to last tackle plays, depending on how close they are to the red zone. Galvin, he wraps up Skelton there. And that's the end of the half. There you go. First half done and deuced. And the Dogs are up by 3 tries, 18 points to 0. Let's take a look at some of these sideline questions. I'm going to try and read a couple of these. Have we got anything through here? What have we got? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm going to come a little bit out of frame because I need to read a couple of these. Para signing 2 halves in 1-year deals back-to-back is such a para move. All right, let's talk about it. It's halftime. We might as well. Jerome Luai. We talked about it quite a lot on our podcast already. We talked about the Luai situation. We talked about what it means for a Tigers perspective, what it means for a Bulldogs perspective. For the Tigers, they lose an experienced half. They lose a 4-time premiership winning half. Obviously, people want to put that in a different way. You know, he hasn't been as great since leaving Penrith, and that's completely correct. But what he's been able to do in regards to recruitment and just the locker room presence that he has at that club, just off the back of winning those grand finals and, what he's done at Clubland and on the Origin level, international stage, there is that aura and that respect there, and guys want to play with a guy like Jerome Luai. So what he's been able to do in regards to being that locker room presence, in regards to being, getting a lot of those guys into the building, he's been a very attractive guy to play with, and younger guys want to play with him, and is good for youth retention. Young guys from other teams want to play with Jerome Luai. They obviously can go to the West Tigers and play with Jerome Luai. So what he's done for recruitment, like the May brothers, the Finu brothers, he's got a lot of key talent into that building, and it's the best roster that they've had and the most well-rounded out roster that they've had in a very long time at the West Tigers. So I don't think you can really argue that Luai, even though footy-wise and form-wise, he has not been at his best at the West Tigers at stages compared to Penrith especially. He hasn't been at his best. For what he's done off the field in regards to their recruitment, the players that they've got into the building at the West Tigers, and just the locker room presence that he has, motivating those guys week to week, being a leader in that team, he has had an impact on the Tigers. They're not winning wooden spoons anymore, as what he said in that press conference, and they're not going to finish last this year. Things would have to go terribly wrong for them to finish last again this season. So Luai has made an impact, whether it's clear to see for some, not so clear to see for others. For me, Luai has had an impact on the West Tigers, and I think, he's going to the Parramatta Eels for a year. He'll have an impact while he's over there as well, and it's not going to be as drastic. Guys aren't going to make mid-season moves to go and play with Jerome Luai over at the Parramatta Eels. It's not going to be what it is at the West Tigers. But I'll tell you what, he's going to make an impact there because he's going to go over and he's going to play with a half that he's played with before on the big stages, and that's Mitch Moses. He's played with Moses in Origin before, so they have that combination already there. You know, you've got a lot of young guys that watch a lot of what Jerome does as well, and I'm sure would be very keen to play with a guy like Jerome Luai. They get Jaden Sewer into the building as well, who's been in pretty good form before the injury this season as well. So Jaden Sewer Moses combo on that right side. Junior Paulo comes back into the building as well for one of his last seasons. You also get Jack Williams, who's playing good footy. Kitione Karatonga on that left edge with Luai. You've got Samarani, who's playing good footy. Like Iongi, outstanding fullback. So they've got an outstanding team at Parramatta, and I feel like Luai is the icing in the cake for that. For me, I think that people aren't happy because it's Jerome Luai. There's a stigma around Jerome Luai. He's the bad guy. People don't like, how cocky he can be at stages, and, he talks himself up a big game, but a lot of the time he does deliver on that as well. Now, obviously, as I said, at Clubland, he hasn't been at his best for the West Tigers, but he has had some big games, and he's a big game player, Jerome Luai. So I think that changing the environment up, getting into a Parramatta side that, with him added into that piece of the puzzle, I do think that he can add a lot to that team. He's exactly what they need. Talataina isn't ready. Talataina is not ready to be the number 6 of the Parramatta Eels. And, I'm not close to the juniors. I'm not too sure as to how he's going in the lower grades. I'm sure he's killing it, but he isn't ready for first grade. He's still, hasn't had any chances in first grade to play to the physicality. So you've got to have someone that fills in there. Luai is the perfect guy to do that for a season. He's a 4-time premiership winner. You don't get a lot of other guys to fill in for 1 year then Luai. You can't really compare it to Pezzett because Pezzett's pretty much unestablished. He's had a couple of good games at the back end of last year for the Melbourne Storm, but is he an established half in the competition that's won premierships and is proven? No, he isn't. So you can't compare Jerome Luai signing for a year to Pezzett signing for a year because that doesn't make any sense. They're two different players with two different track records. So I think that Luai filling in for a year is going to be absolutely perfect for what Parramatta need. I think that Talataina probably comes in and plays jersey 18 or 19 on 6-man bench. He comes in and plays a bit of a roaming role, comes in at stages in games. Depending on how Parramatta track throughout that season, he can get some more minutes progressively throughout the season. They're obviously losing Dylan Walker at the end of this season. He's going over to the Super League, so there's an opportunity to have a bit of a roaming player there, depending on how they sort out the rest of their roster. I think Jack DeBellin's leaving as well at the end of this season. I think there is chat around a club option not being taken up there. I'm not too sure how much truth there is to that. I did get a little message from Fanatics TV saying that was incorrect when I put a post up about it today. So we'll have to wait and see what they say about it on the show if they talk about it on Fanatics TV. But look, long story short, I think that Jerome Luai is a good option for the Parramatta Eels. I think that he is a great option for Parramatta for the season. I think, as I said, you don't get a lot of guys that are much better for one season. So, I mean, take what you can get, right? It's Jerome Luai, for God's sake. Like, he's one of the better 5'8" in the competition when he's good. So yeah, I think it's a really good buy from Parramatta. Let's see if there's any other comments from Sideline FM here. Nothing yet. YouTube listeners, obviously towards the back end of halftime, we obviously talked a lot about Luai then. Had a bit of a yarn. So throw in some other questions. I've had a bit of a tangent there. Throw in some other questions, NRL related. We'll answer them before the second half kicks off. And as I said, guys, if you like the content, you think, geez, this guy potentially knows what he's talking about. I like his little wannabe mustache there as well that he's got going on. Not too sure what's going on there, but I sort of like it. You think, gee, that mustache might suggest that he probably can do a good job at podcasting as well. To that, I'd say, potentially you're right. Maybe you're right. But What I would say, so we're looking at the halftime stats here. Only 6 missed tackles from the Dogs in the first half is crazy, but they did have majority of the ball. Um, if you like the content, if you're taking a look through the YouTube at halftime and you're thinking, geez, this guy actually does an all right job, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram as well, Big LEZ'S League. Give us a follow as well. Posting some good things on there, all NRL content, NRL news. We do jersey swaps depending on the transfer rumors around the NRL as well. So give us a follow. Obviously, do Rabbitohs Radio as well. Got a weekly podcast, Momentum, which is with myself and former Dragons player Jake Marchetto, reviewing every round of the NRL, going through the hottest topics in the NRL as well. And, Jake Marchetto, former NRL player for the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Not too many other better people to break the footy down over the weekend. He's got some really good takes and obviously some good experiences as well, playing with some great players. So get stuck into all of that. Bit of a mouthful there from Big Les. Going to take a nice little long sip of this beer before we get stuck into the second half of footy. Sideline FM listeners, if you want to throw some questions into the Sideline FM chat, you're more than welcome to. Got a couple of listeners in there, so throw your question queries in there. It is halftime, so that's all good as well. We've got a little bit to go before the second half kicks off. YouTube listeners, though, send through some questions. Might just double check if we can give a couple of our lads a call as well. Just messaging a couple of the lads, seeing if they want to jump on a call while halftime's on. Just to pass by the time. As I said, throw in some questions to the YouTube or the Sideline FM chats, and we'll go through those throughout the halftime before the footy kicks off, and obviously while the footy's on as well. Got through plenty of footy chat there as well in that first half, so it was good. Send through more questions. Just going through a couple of the comments in the comment sections of some of my posts. Any more questions there on the YouTube? Not too much there, guys. I appreciate you all jumping on. It's been pretty good so far. We've had plenty of questions in the YouTube. Please keep it going. Would love to hear from you guys as well. Questions, queries, dramas. Not so much dramas, but more so questions and queries, NRL related, of course. See if I can pull up some of the NRL news as well. We can get stuck into a bit of that too, and maybe that might inspire some more questions as well while we wait for halftime to finish up. Looks like the second half is about to kick off. get some NRL news up while we're just waiting for this to kick off. Might get to some other stuff. Just got to jog the old memory. Clarky, where are you? Let's have a look. What's happening in the NRL? Oh, Hudson Young. We know we've got a Raiders fan in the chat. I'll tell you what, that is absolutely devastating what happened to Hudson Young today. Absolutely devastating. He's been one of the better back rowers, one of the better players in the competition over the past couple of years, and just come back from a really good Origin series. The boys are at. He's been sensational. So to lose him for the Raiders, he's going to be out for the rest of the season with that Achilles. That is absolutely devastating for him. We do wish him all the very best. They've always got Simi Sasangi there. They've got Hosking. I think it's a huge opportunity for Hosking. Tell you it's a huge opportunity for, which is a name that's gone under the radar, which is Matty Nicholson. Matty Nicholson hasn't been in the side for a very, very long time. He has been, obviously in reserve grade. He always had a crack at the start of the year. I'm not too sure if Matty Nicholson is injured at the moment or what's going on, but he hasn't been in the side for a while. I've seen him in like jersey 20, jersey 21. So I'm pretty sure he's around. But it'd be a great opportunity for him to maybe poke his nose through. I know that Noah Martin's just come back into the side. Simi Sasangi's, Hosking, these sort of guys. So it'll be a good opportunity for a couple of these guys to crack a spot in the starting team. You'd have to think Noah Martin's one of the back rowers, so it's more so who plays left side. I think it'll most likely be Zach Hosking, to be fair, which, again, huge opportunity for Zach Hosking. Like, he had a great game last week against the Dogs. Unreal game of footy. So he'd be absolutely perfect for that role as we get stuck into the second half. Just got a message from one of the boys. What do we say? It's a meeting. All right, let's get stuck in. Let's lock in. Left side shift here on the first set of the second half for the West Tigers. The ball goes down with Jareem Buller. Last tackle, Adam Dewey. He's almost going to go for a bit of a repeat play of what Sean O'Sullivan did, a bit lower, but obviously doesn't roll too deep. And our man, Connor Tracy, he wraps it all up, brings it back. Play the ball. Galvin's going to get it off to Rinakama, and he's going to get tackled well, met well by Skelton. Burton's going to go for a bit of a nice little carry there as well, just to get the second half started off for the Doggies. 50-metre line on third tackle. It's Harry Hayes that will take a run. There's heaps of one out running at the moment for the Doggies as they now start to get a bit of a shift action on. It's nice that they're playing conservative to start the set and just feel the Tigers out and seeing if they're going to come out with a little bit more in this half. But I'd imagine over the next couple of sets, you'll start to see those offloads maybe creep back in here for the Doggies. And that'll probably be what all she wrote for the Tigers. But I think the Tigers will come out with a bit of fight. I think they will. I think you might be able to see them potentially, no pun intended, to claw their way back in. As, I think that's Dream Buller takes a carry there. Sunita Aruva to the 40-metre line. Shift now. Latu Fainu playing a bit more of a middle role now. Good to see, playing a bit more in the halves. Semi, like more in that lock forward role, which we saw from him at the back end of last year, as Dewey gets a bit of a two-pass action to Fanua Polo, who's on the field now. And Fanua Polo, he's going to be wrapped up. Stafford Toa looks like he's injured again. It was almost like he was holding a groin or maybe a wrist injury. As they get the ball out, left side, Hamasi Makasini. Sunita Aruva tries to kick it back in, but it's going to go to the Dogs. Tracy gets an inside ball back infield to Rinakama, who runs straight over the top of Adam Dewey. Play the ball. Good little start to the set from the doggies here. What they've sort of lacked in this first half, the West Tigers, is just that ability to change direction and chance their arm a little bit. They're starting to do that a little bit here to start the second half, which could be very interesting to watch out for. Maybe a little second half comeback could be on the cards here as Narochuala plays it. We do see Jamin Salmon. He creeps up a couple meters. He's been very good this game. I'm pretty sure he's played the full game so far. He's actually been all right. Jamin Salmon back in lock. Let the ball out right side. Infield kick for Kira. It's going to go right on the chest of Jareen Buller, who's going to make a couple of meters on the carry back, probably up to the 30. Marcy Makassini. Nice little conservative run up to the 40-meter line. Long shift. Close to the wing there. Staffatoa. Ball went behind him. That was an awful pass. They're going to let it go, and he goes over the sideline. Oh, it's touched here by the Dogs, so the Tigers will get it back. Very, very lucky there. Tigers will get it back here on about halfway. Massive. Absolutely massive. I haven't shut up for about the last hour and a half, so definitely need some water. Nice little left shift now. Sunita Ruva. He's going to start a party on that left side, but he goes, no, the party's not cool over here, so he comes back infield a little bit. Wrapped up on the 50-meter line. Coruscant, he gets the ball out to 12 through the middle, who has a nice strong run into 4 Bulldogs defenders. Play the ball now for Twali. Coruscant. They're going to spread right side. Oh, nice little tackle there from Birdo. He knew it was coming. Good little read there. Good little Cade read. Fanua Apollo's going to play the ball either through the middle on 4th. They're going to try and spread the ball to that left-hand side. Strong carry from Samuela Finu up to the 20. Good little field position for a last tackle, short side shift, and that's what they do. Luai, back to Dewey. Dewey, grubber through for himself, and it's cleaned up by Josh Curran, who has also been quite solid in this game. Good stuff here from the Dogs. They're going to work their way out of their own end now. Wrapped up pretty easily was Chuala. They're going to shift it straight away. Second tackle all the way out to Rinakama. Rinakama's going to run straight into Skeleton. He bounces off. Couple of other defenders meet him there. Rinakama, and he's going to be brought down on that, just after that 20-meter line. Guys, send through your questions as well. Any NRL questions that you have? A couple of you joining on now as the start of the second half kicks off. So any NRL questions that you have about the footy today, about any of the news in the NRL. We obviously talked a little bit about Hudson Young at the start. Who could replace him as well? Obviously, he's done his Achilles, so he's going to be out for the season. I'd probably say at this stage it'd be Zach Hosking, but we talked about Matty Nicholson being a little bit of a smoky as well to come back into this side somewhere, maybe on that 6-man bench. He's been a guy, even when they've had issues with their depth in the middle of the field and with forwards, he hasn't been able to crack his way back into this side. So Matty Nicholson will be an interesting one, unless I've missed something with Matty Nicholson. I think it'd be great to come back into this side as Harry Hayes makes a little bit of an error there. The Tigers will get the ball back off the scrum on about the 40-meter line in the red zone. Just sent Jakey Marchetto a message. Hopefully we might be able to get him to call into this stream. If so, we'll have a little bit of a chat to him about this game as well. Fanua he's been tackled there just after the 40. Right side, short side to our man, Alex Twall. Twally plays it. Coruscant, little X-play there. Very strong carry from Pole. Pole plays the ball. Coruscant to Dewey. Dewey, short ball to Ethan Roberts, who's getting a crack in first grade again for the first time in a couple of weeks. Long shift again here for the West Tigers. Long shift. Makasini has the ball now on that left-hand side. And Makasini will play it on last. Fainu. Oh, Luai has butchered this last tackle set. Samuel finally tries to grubber it through. And he's knocked it on. That was absolute shambles. It was a good feed as well. You can't blame the dummy half there. That was... Well, he's challenging something. He's challenging something. He knows something that we don't, Luai. Touched by the dogs, they're saying. Let's see what we've got here. Love staring at a bear's hand. Let's get stuck into the challenge, shall we? So, not play that. He has kicked it though. No, he's knocked it on. Oh no. But he's regained it its last tackle, so it's going to be like handover anyway. Accidental offside, eh? Accidental offside, eh? Yeah, I don't think so. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, he's not offside. Yeah, it's a handover. It's a handover. It's a hurry handover. Sorry, Sammy. Sorry, Luai. Not today, son. It's a handover. Tell you what, we did a bit of a deep dive on the Hudson Young injury. Just a bit of a G up for the followers on the Instagram. Obviously, the word Achilles. Achilles is also a Roman godlike figure from ancient Roman mythology. Made some links there to the Odyssey. I thought that Achilles was going to be in the Odyssey, but apparently he wasn't around in that universe or during that when Odyssey is made. I think that Achilles came in before Odyssey. Achilles was before the timing of Homer's Odyssey. So, therefore, he's kicked another 40-20. Holy shit. Sean O'Sullivan's kicked a second 40-20. Anyway, long story short, we were trying to find a link between, is there any omenry behind the two Achilles injuries that we've had this week? Because we've had Will Warbrick as well, which is going to be massive for the Melbourne Storm. And then we've also had now as well our mate Hudson Young. So I was trying to find a little bit of a link there. Couldn't find it. But a bit of dribble for your Saturday night doesn't go astray. For the Will Warbrick thing as well, we'll just see how this set plays out quickly first. We'll talk about Will Warbrick after. Sean O'Sullivan, 40-20, has led to a little left side spread here. Oh, the Tigers have done well. Skelton, there was just no room there for the Dogs. Absolutely no room. Burton was almost playing in one as well. Kickout was standing out in the centres. Probably needed to hold that a little bit longer kicks. Needed to probably step back in a little bit. There probably wasn't enough room anyway. The Dogs are really good in their spacing, so not bad defense there from the West Tigers and good little cleanup work. Now, Will Warbrick, as I take a little sip of water as well so I don't lose my voice tomorrow. Will Warbrick, obviously he's done it. He's Achilles as well. So you got Coates and you got Warbrick out now. Moses Leo was out due to illness, so you'd imagine he'd come straight back in. So your wingers for Melbourne are going to be Moses Leo, most likely, and then that's Sulangi Tuimalatu Brown. Now, Tuimalatu Brown plays like that every week. Like, he's going to be something special. He's got plenty of talent. He's always had plenty of talent, but he's had some rough games coming into first grade, like a couple of errors and just sort of hasn't handled the physicality very well. Really good game from him. Strong tackles, just got through his work. Very tough performance from Tuimalatu Brown. He had two massive shots on Hugo Savala that I'm sure Hugo's woken up a little bit sore today at time of recording, but yeah, like he was an absolute beast. I think if he plays like that week to week, like he'll be a bit of a weapon there. I mean, center's looking pretty light. It's, probably Nick Meaney and Jack Howarth that'll probably be in the centers. Be interesting to see, like, I think the wild card in this whole situation is maybe they call back Marion Seve in, depending on how he's going in reserve grade, if they're eligible to call him into first grade to play in the centers there and they push Nick Meaney out to the wing. That's an option as well. But can hear your thoughts, guys, in the comment sections for both Sideline FM and also for the YouTubes, what you guys think of the whole thing. But that's probably the two options that sort of stand out to me. Marion Seve, they can try and get him in to play in the centers, which is, I guess, more of the wild card option, or which is what I think is what is going to happen, is Moses Leo will come back from illness. He'll come in and he'll play on one wing, and Tui Malatu Brown will play on the other, and they'll just back the youth in, which I think is going to be the play for Melbourne, to be fair. They get the ball out here on the left side shift here for the West Tigers. Good little start at the midpoint of the set. Not the best field position, though. A little bit of inside-outside change of direction. It's really starting to take a little bit of a toll on the Doggies. The Doggies are doing very well, by the way. They're still finished on that 50-metre line, but our mates, Dewey's putting up a couple of bombs that are testing a little bit. But just the change of the direction, they really missed that in that first half. It's been a really heroic defensive performance from the Doggies, though. It's been a really good defensive performance from the Doggies this game, particularly in this second half. And Kickout's looked lively since he's come on the field as well. He's had some nice little runs. That left side play, obviously they didn't have enough room there. He probably needed to step back inside and hold that ball a little bit longer to create space and just commit Skelton in. Skelton, obviously a good defensive read. As speaking of defensive reads, do we put a big shot on? I think that's Harry Hayes. Yeah, Harry Hayes. Max King's going to go for a carry. Couple of offloads now back for the Dogs. We said that the offload is going to come back sooner rather than later. Hopefully they keep this up, because it's the thing that really caught the Tigers off guard in that first half. A couple of offloads in and around the ruck really troubled them. Good little run there from Dare to Dream Buller, the cream man. Probably won't call him that, to be fair. Still want to be able to stream on YouTube after this. Abby Coruscant is at 9. It's third tackle. They're going to go for a little bit of a left side long shift here. Hitting short is Ethan Roberts. Oh, Terrell May, a couple of those offloads are starting to get some really nice broken play here for the Tigers. It's exactly what they need. They need to just do it straight away, though, early in the tackle count, spreading the ball, getting the ball moving. They're going to run it on last here and just create a little bit of unease. They've got a bit of space now. Joel Skelton's going to do a little bit of a weird and awkward grubber kick that's cleaned up by Viliami Kickout, who, by the way, has done extremely well in his first game back. He's just obviously getting the breath back in the lungs, but I think he's doing extremely well in his first game back. He's looked dangerous. So have the Dogs in general, though, at stages. Burton's going to get wrapped up on that 20-metre line. Little right side pass there to Kiraz. Wanted the offload, but couldn't get it. Fourth tackle on the 30. Good aggressive defensive set here from the Tigers, and a bad pass. A very bad pass from Presto. Obviously over the sideline there. Oh, no, it was Connor Tracy. It's Connor Tracy over the sideline there to Chihuahua. It goes over the touchline there. Guys, questions, Sideline FM and the YouTubes. Get them in. If we've got any more Sideline FM questions there, we haven't as of yet. Got a couple of listeners in there. Hopefully we get some more soon. Send through your questions on the YouTubes, guys, if you like. "24 minutes to go in this game. Left side spread, ball goes to ground. I think that's a knock-on from Dream Buller. Are they going to call that? You might get lucky here. Second tackle, one out to Hamasi Makasini. He'll play it there. Latufani playing that middle role nicely. Nice little bit of tempo there, but it does catch a couple of the other guys offside. Inside ball there from Luai to Samuela, who's probably been looking there most likely as well. If they can get him enough room they set up right post and just get him a really nice bit of room later in the tackle count, that's going to be the way to go. They keep sort of setting up to go right. They've got to go left. They've got to go left and find Samuel Afinu because he's the key for them, I reckon. He's looked the most likely out of the lot, to be fair. Every time he's got the ball, he's making about 15-odd meters. Shit end of set again here from the Tigers. That's been a big thing for them this second half. At least the last couple sets. They've really not ended their sets well, as Sunita Ruva looks like he's just fought in the UFC and done a Conor McGregor. He's limping a little bit there. Little dummy and go there from Sean O'Sullivan. He's had a terrific game. 2 40-20s. He's absolutely wild. Albeit they didn't execute off the second one. I think that's AJ Jones that's now on in jersey 17. Or Lipoi Hopoi. Let me just double check. It's probably the only one I'm not too sure of because they're both big boppers. Let's have a look. I think it's Lipoi Hopoi, to be fair. Yeah, Lipoi Hopoi on the field now for the Doggies. So they've still got a couple of changes left. I don't think I've seen Underhill yet. Yeah, their line speed and kick chase, the Bulldogs, has been the difference. Like kick chase, especially early in the game, but just the line speed, it just gives the Tigers back absolutely no room to do what they want to do in this game. Luai inside ball now to Terrell May. Terrell May, a bit of footwork. He's trying something here. Hurls a pass backwards there to Api Coruscant. He's going to play the ball. Last tackle, they're about 35-odd meters out. But, Jesus, that is a huge torpedo from Dewey. Rinakama's done exceptionally well. He's been a lot safer this game. He's probably had the one where he's let bounce, but hasn't had too many errors off kicks in this game. He's been very good, Rinakama. Very, very good. Compared to last week against Canberra, he has been very good. Kira's a nice little run there. Jesus, he's leathered Latufanu there. Oh, I don't think Latufanu's well. He's leathered him here. You watch this run from Kiraz. Oh. Latufanu might need to check up there. He's hit the shoulder of Kiraz. I know they're talking about Kiraz trying to offload there. He's probably forced that. He knows it too. He's shaking his head, but I think Latufanu might come off in a second. Hopefully they see that and can get him off the field. That was gnarly. As much as I want to see Latufanu one because they need to get some games into him and blood him a bit more. Like, Christ, that was pretty gnarly. He looks all right now, though. Out to the left side, Hamasi Makasini! Oh, he got so close. Even his headgear came off. There were that many defenders on him, but he didn't get there. It's going to be fourth tackle on the 10-meter line. Six again. This is a huge opportunity for the Tigers to pull themselves back into this game. Fanua Pole now through the middle of the field. Max King tries to wrap up the ball, but Fanua Pole says no. Dewey. Short pass to Stafford Toa. They're setting up now for that left side shift. They need to get Samuel Afinu some ball. Desperately need to get Samuel Afinu some ball. They're going to kick for Makasini, but Kiraz, he hits it dead. Kiraz hits it dead. Good clean-up work here from the Dogs. but I love it that this Bulldog side is sorry, this Tiger side is now chancing their arm. There's change of direction. There's something there, you know. Whereas first half they were so conservative. They were pretty lateral in what they were doing, and they like in regards to quick shifts and change of direction and just really trying to throw this Bulldogs side off guard. They just weren't able to do it off the back of also the line speed of the Bulldogs. Tigers have knocked it on. You get a repeat set, you knock it on. That's summed up their game really today. Jesus Christ. That's tough. That's really tough there for the Dogs. I'm sorry, for the Tigers. Oh, I'm keen for the Tim Tszyu fight. I'm not sure if there's any boxing fans watching on here or listening on the Sideline FM platform, but Tim Tszyu, Errol Spence Jr., that's going to be unreal. That fight next Sunday. Unreal. Very keen. Tim Tszyu, I think, is going to wipe the floor with him, to be fair. Lipboy Hoppo is going to play the ball here. He's going to play it on the 50 meter. Oh my God. Leo Thompson just about went to the circus there. He's done a full cartwheel. No hands. He's a gymnast or a professional dancer. I don't know which one it is, but he's done a full cartwheel. Latu Finu. Oh my God. What about the techers from Latu Finu? And Jesus, that is all time. That is techers to the 10th degree. Latu dead set risked it all just to fucking put Leo Thompson on the ground. They can't seriously be considering a penalty for that. Are you fucking serious? It was a legs tackle. Yeah, it's dangerous. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, like it is hard to the legs. Yeah, he's in the bin. Fuck. Oh, that's devastating. I think the Dogs will go in here, to be fair. Yeah, yeah, it's not like he's hit the legs and wrapped on the legs as well to try and contort them in a way that is dangerous. You know, like he's just put his shoulder in front of the quad, which isn't that bad or that dangerous, and then used his back to sort of be a bit of a falling block for Leo and rolls over the top. Like it wasn't that bad of a dangerous tackle. Like I don't know if it deserved a player going into the bin. Sure, on report and the judiciary look at it and whatever you want to do there, but fuck, like in the bin is wild for that tackle. Absolutely rogue as fuck. But the Dogs are going to get some extra points here. Burton's a fucking long range specialist. That's straight over the black dot as if there was any doubt. And the Dogs are up 20 points to 0. This is so unfortunate for the Tigers. Fuck, that sucks. A player in the bin and they're up 20 points to 0. Like, oh,
Yeah, kick out got kicked in the head too there. Knock on Tigers as well. Off the kickoff, and the Dogs are going to start their set on the 50. And there's a player in the bin for the Tigers. Oh, that's rough. That is rough. That is rough. The Bulldogs, you'd think, would have to go in this set or the next couple of sets while Latu's in the bin. I don't agree with Latu going to the bin. I think that on report would have probably been suffice for that tackle. Like, if Latu was to have wrapped on the legs and hit the legs hard and contorted his legs and tried to like break his legs, like that, the Tane Milne one on Cameron Munster from a few years ago, that was definitely in the bin. In fact, it was probably a send-off. That wasn't that bad. Like, it was pretty high up. It was probably just below the hip in and around the quad area. I get it. You don't want to go hard at the legs. Yeah, Burton's going to go in. Burton's going to go in. Yep. We knew it. They had one less player there. It is what it is. Called it. I mean, wasn't too much of something you can say that to. Like, it was pretty obvious they were going to go in there. 24 points to 0. The Bulldogs are up over the West Tigers. West Tigers have a man in the bin at the moment. Latu Finu for a legs tackle on Leo Thompson. And the Dogs have gone straight in. The West Tigers tried to go for a short kickoff, knocked it on off Jareen Buller. And then the Dogs have just gone bang, bang. They've gone straight in. Nice little set play from right post, moving over to the left. Kick out sort of turns around. It's similar to the Penrith play they used to do with Alamotti on that left-hand side. And they've replicated it with Kikau, and Birdo's gone straight in. Birdo's gone straight in. It is 24 points to 0. The Cowboys, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs over the West Tigers. What's Sideline FM looking like? Got a couple of listeners in there. Doing good. We're doing good things here. YouTube listeners, there's a couple of you still in the chat. Let's get some questions in. For full time, we'll do a little bit of a review as well of the games of footy. That'll upload it straight to the podcast as well for the Saturday review. So we'll do our full Saturday review as well on the live stream. We'll smash it out, especially for you guys, as a little bit of a treat for sticking around. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be after the game. 26 points to 0. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs over the West Tigers. Let's get stuck into a couple of the games coming up. So the Sunday games of footy, we've obviously got the Gold Coast Titans going up against the Manly Seagulls. I'd expect probably a couple of errors in this game. I think it's going to be your general Sunday slinger. I think that Manly are playing good footy at the moment. They've obviously lost back-to-back games. They need to get a win back on the board. I think Hamole is going to be definitely of use going up against the more inexperienced Arama Howe. I think that's the way that they're going to go in this one. They're going to rely a lot on Hamole in this game, the Manly Seagulls. I think there will be a lot of errors. I think there'll be a lot of risks taken in that game. I think they will play a lot of expansive footy. Gordon Chen Kum-Tong getting an opportunity in this game in the last 15-odd minutes here for the Bulldogs, which is good to see. I think this is his first or second game for the Dogs. Very, very good to see. But that's the way that I think that game will go at 2 p.m. I think the Manly Seagulls will get it done, though. Hamole to have a big game, Tom Trbojevic to have a big game, and Manly to get up over the Gold Coast Titans. Knock on there from Bailey Hayward, who's playing a bit of lock at the moment. That's unfortunate. 11:40 is where we're currently sitting on Fox League as well, if you want to sync up to where you're watching on the TV screens. But the Dolphins and the Cowboys, they're at 4:05 on your Sunday for this game. I think the Dolphins will win. I think they'll win well too. I think that getting a lot of guys back in this team. I think Bostock is in doubt for this one. I think he's going to be ruled out at some stage. In fact, he already has been as well. Hasn't trained all week and succumbed to onset late concussion, I think it was. Late symptoms for concussion. So he's out. Brian Poniu, who's the guy that comes in. He was supposed to play under 19s Origin. He's out. He's back in the side in the centres, which is cool to see. But yeah, I think the Dolphins will probably win 13 plus. And the only reason I say that is, yes, the Cowboys have been good. Yes, they've won their last 2 games. I just feel like the edge defense and Manly being such an attacking threat, I think they can get somewhat of an upset there from what people are sort of predicting based off form at this current stage. So I'm going to go the Dolphins 13 plus at this one, and I'm going to go Manly to get the job done over the Titans. There's a little bit of a fight now breaking out, a bit of feeling in this one. Jamin Salmon, the Junkyard Dogs, getting right in there. Alex Twall's in there. I'll tell you what, though, Alex Twall, he's like, the quiet kid in the back of the classroom. Like, you don't really expect too much from Alex Twall. He just gets to a ton of work, and not even that, like, he is absolutely jacked. Oh, my God. Alex Twall might be in some serious Barney rubble here. He's punched Jamin Salmon in the face. Oh, he's palmed him in the face. Oh, I think Alex Twall's going to the bin here. Oh, that was so silly. That was so silly. That was so silly. He's going to the bin. Yeah, he's going to the bin for sure. Oh, no, don't. Oh, mate, Alex Twall. That whole lead-up chat as well is so fucking poorly timed. He's the most unassuming guy. Punches fucking Jamin Salmon in the face. Oh, my God. Yeah, well, that's it from the West Tigers. They're definitely not coming back now. There's 10 minutes to go. I can comfortably say that this is the Cowboy. This is the Bulldogs game. This is all the Bulldogs. There's heaps of emotion in it, obviously, with Latu going off. Yeah, this game is pretty much set in stone. Not too much else to happen for the Tigers' sake. They've just got to hold on. I think the Bulldogs will score probably 2 more tries. I reckon there's at least 2 more tries in the Bulldogs here off the back of 13 on 11. You'd have to think they'd be able to find space. If they don't, that's more concerning for the Dogs than anything else. All the Tigers just fucking aim up defensively and have a good last 15 minutes or so here, or 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Galvin puts in a little stab kick here, and it's grounded by Abby Coruscant. So they just hold on there, the Tigers. I don't think they'll be holding on for much longer. As I said, I think there's at least 2 more tries in the Bulldogs here. At least. Nine minutes to go on the clock here in this one. 26-0, the scoreline. If you've only just flicked this on to check the score, we were going to put the scoreboard up on the stream. I downloaded this app Streamify to do it through. We're doing this through just YouTube at the moment, but we downloaded this app Streamify. We'd set up all the, welcome to my live stream, back soon, all that sort of jazz. Like, we set up the template of how we wanted it all to look, the webcam and the score. We had the score in this corner. Well, we had it all set up. And then it decided not to connect to my YouTube and screwed my whole YouTube up. So I thought we weren't even going to be able to do the stream on here, but we all worked it out. We got it sorted. Tech genius. Ball spread out now. Lipoy Hopboy through a little gap there through the middle. He's wrapped up by Ethan Roberts, though. Quick play the ball. Gordon Chan Tong tries to rubber it through. Clean up there by the Tigers. Samuel Afano, massive play with 11 players on the field. Wrapped that up really well. It would have been a Bulldogs try for certain. Lipoy Hopboy now makes a tackle here on Ethan Roberts. I mean, for the Tigers to play with 2 less middles, they've got 1 middle out there. So their OBs are going to have to stand up here big time. Terrell May's the only middle on the field, I think. Ethan Roberts is in the back row. So this is going to be a massive test. Somehow, yeah, they've found a little gap there, the Tigers. They found a little bit of a gap. Api Coruscant is going to try and kick it. He's bombed it into Curran's chest. Play on, and Gordon, Chan Kam Tong. Is he going to get there? Offload. Curran's going to score. That's a double for Curran. That's a double for Josh Curran. We said they've got 2 more tries. I think they'll score at least 1 more. About 6 minutes, 48, 47, 46 left to go. Sorry, I just needed a little bit of water there. We're starting to lose the voice, as you can probably tell. But Curran did the charge down, and then the support play as well. No one else was there when Gordon Chen Kum Tong broke the field, and there you go. Try to Josh Curran's second try of the game. How good? How good? The beautiful little try. I mean, geez, I've never been bombed in the chest before, but I tell you what, I'd be winded out of my mind if that was me. Like the fact that he's had the energy to then charge that down. Oh, Curran ran him on side there. That might have not been a try. Curran ran him on side. Well, good stuff there. Happy for Curran. Curran deserves it. He's had a massive game. Like, not just the 2 tries, but he's been heavily involved defensively. He's taken plenty of carries from the back row spot as well. Like, he probably wasn't playing to play 80 minutes tonight. He's barely been in the side. He's been in and out of the team. Like, he's done extremely well tonight. 5 minutes to go. 30 points to 0. As I said, I think they'll score at least 1 more try, the Bulldogs, before this one wraps up with about 5 minutes. And then after that, guys, for you lucky lads lads and ladies that have stuck around, we'll do a little bit of a review over your Super Saturday as well. And that Saturday review will go on the podcast too. So you guys will be get exclusive access to the Saturday review that we're going to have on the podcast as well. We'll obviously touch on this game first because it was the most recent one. We can sort of go a little bit off the cuff and then jump into some of the stats from the game. As Latu Finu comes back on the field now. But then we'll get stuck into the other 2 games as well, and then we'll wrap the stream up from there. But I appreciate you guys for staying on. Those that have stayed on, really do appreciate it. Wasn't planning on getting a lot of numbers into this stream tonight. We had a lot. We've had some pretty decent numbers, to be fair, on and off. So I really do appreciate you guys for jumping on. I love the support that you've shown as well. Make sure if you haven't already to subscribe to the YouTube if you're not a current subscriber. And also follow all the social links as well, which will be in the description of the YouTube channel, Instagram, Spotify, Apple. If you like the content, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to it all as well. Would really appreciate it. But still plenty of time to go on this stream, guys. Obviously got the end of this game, and then we'll get stuck into a bit of a review of this one and obviously the 2 games beforehand. As I said, those will go on the podcast, so you'll get exclusive access. Oh, my God, no way. Oh, no. He's just come back. He's just come back, kick out, and it looks like he's done his groin there. He looks like he's done his groin. That is not great. Yeah, I think this is. I think mathematically now the West Tigers are out of the 8 as well, whereas the Dogs still have a bit more of a chance, just with their for and against, and obviously a big win here will help with that. But I think this is the Tigers. If they weren't done last week, they are done this week. Unfortunately for them. As a bit of a break down the sideline, Jethro Inakama, he is flying. No one's going to get to him. He's, Buller. Oh, that offload was only just too late there from Rinakama. It's going to be good field position for the Dogs to defend from. Still only 12 men for the West Tigers, obviously. You'll probably see Alex Tor come in with about 30 seconds to go. It's probably not going to make the most massive amount of difference for the West Tigers. Dream's had a big game. Dream has had a massive game. Just defensively, he's had some massive plays. Had some big carries out of his own end. It's been a real tough game from Dream Buller. Pretty much on the back foot, the West Tigers, for pretty much all of this game, and he's definitely trucked some nut today. Here we go. The Tigers, they're going to try and fight their way out of their own end. Again, a bit of change of direction and whatnot here. Kick-out's come off. It looks like he might have done his... I feel like he's done his groin. He was holding it. He looked pretty ginger there after one of those tackles. Here we go. Short side play from the Tigers. Then going to put it back inside to Luai on about the 40-metre line. Luai offload. Offload again from Dream to Terrell May. Terrell May. Dewey. Coruscant. Coruscant's going to get wrapped up there. They're going to go back a few meters, back on the 30. Too much offloading. Dewey, offload again. It's offload central. They're all playing Supercoach. They want the points. Jeez, Tracy Lee didn't catch that one about a minute ago in this one. I imagine the Dogs will sort of just play it slow and get to the back end of this one. Penalty here for the Dogs. It's probably the last thing that they need. They're pretty comfortable at the moment, but they're going to get a penalty and get up a field as well. And there you go. Oh, a little tackle there from Seyfarth. Bit of shoulder charge action there. Twal's going to be on for about 20 seconds. Again, it's not going to make the world's most difference. He's back on. Twal goes straight at Jamin Salmon then. Oh, my God. He's in another one. He's in another one with Josh Curran. Oh, my God. Twal, he's angry. It's obviously they're going to be that's it. This is this game over, but oh, my goodness gracious me. There's no point in sending anyone in the bin after this, but far out. Like Twal, he just got back from the bin for a push and shove and then comes back on the field for another push and shove. I mean, the game's done. Just end the game. There you go. Good stuff. 32 points to nil there for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Tell you what, I wish this one was more of a close game. Would have been more exciting to commentate. Probably should have done the one beforehand just quietly, but 32 points to nil there for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Get the job done over the West Tigers. Let's get stuck into a bit of a review. We'll hit all the right buttons on the software here just so we can get the right bit. But here we go. Let's get stuck into a bit of a review. So 32 points to nil in this one. Obviously, a couple players going to the bin late. Obviously, Twally there for a bit of a push and shove. You had Latu with the legs tackle. I mean, we'll talk about the Latu one because I feel like it's the more important one to sort of talk about. Tackle there on the legs. I don't agree with it. I think that Yes, obviously we've seen some dangerous legs tackles which have ended very, very badly in the past. We've seen that the Tane Milne one on Cameron Munster a couple of years ago that almost ended very badly. But I'll tell you what, like I think that one was okay. Like the key difference is it didn't look like he went overly hard to the point where he was going right at the joint of the knee and trying to create damage. If you can see on this in the YouTube stream, you're probably going to get a better view of this. He was coming more so closer to the quad, so he probably hit around here to catch Leo Thompson off balance, and obviously that led him to sort of turn over and flip over the back of Latu. So, yeah, look, I don't think it was too bad. I don't think it's one of the worst. I don't think it's one of the worst legs tackles I've seen. That's for sure. There's definitely been worse. I think that's as well, like he didn't wrap as well. So if he had tackled at the joint of the knee and then wrapped and pushed, that's a no-go zone. That's probably like send-off areas, right? Because you're literally going and making damage for the knee. That's as dangerous as it can get. So he didn't wrap. He hit him high enough on the knee where it's only going to just catch him off balance. At the worst, you probably might be at risk of some damage in your quad area, but I mean, we're all at risk of soft tissue injuries in the NRL. So at the end of the day, like it's just a normal tackle. I don't think it was too bad whatsoever. I probably wouldn't have seen it as a sin binable offence. I think it's probably more, just a on report and that's it. The judiciary can, see it and make a decision on it. But yeah, for me, it wasn't a sin binable offence. The Twally stuff, that was just silly. Like, I didn't think that was in Twall's game, to be completely honest. I didn't think Twall was the type of player to sort of get in those little argy-barges. I think that just tells you the feeling in this game late. Obviously, Latu went to the bin and, the Tigers, they were getting beat by quite a large margin. They've had a really tough past couple of weeks. They lost to the Tigers a couple of weeks ago. Hasn't been great since then. Luai, the whole situation off field. The Tigers just look to be in a really rough place at the moment. They're in a really rough place. I think it's getting to them all the outside noise, but also just this game in general. Like, I think that, if a couple of things went their way, you could argue that maybe the Doggies were probably talking a little bit of shit and trying to get in their heads, which is just natural in the game of rugby league, and maybe got under their skin towards the back end. And, as I said, like Twally, you don't look at him as the sort of player that gets in those late argy-bargies, but unfortunately, he was caught up in that. He then comes back from being sent to the bin and gets in another fight. Well, not a fight. There wasn't any punches thrown, but a little bit of argy-bargy there. So, yeah, look, tough night for the West Tigers. Really tough night. Dream Buller was definitely a standout. He tried hard. I thought he got through plenty of work there at fullback. 175 run meters from 24 runs, 41 post contact, tackle bust, offload. I thought he was really busy, just coming out of his own end, particularly on those kick return plays. Very, very strong there, Dream Buller. Particularly as well in a game where they're on the back foot. It's really good to see that he can have one of these tough, grindy performances as well and try and drag his team away from a loss. Dream Buller was good. I thought that Hamasi Makasini was quite good, to be fair. Like, no errors. It was very safe there in the centres. A couple of nice opportunities down that left-hand side. Thought that he was okay. I thought that Dewey had some nice kicks there. Those bomb kicks were definitely creating a bit of trouble there for the Bulldogs. Samuel Afinu, they definitely needed to go to him a few more times. I feel like that was a bit of a weakness for the West Tigers. They definitely needed to go to him a couple more times on their set plays, particularly in that first half when they were playing very conservative, especially at the start of the game, and the Bulldogs were offloading and they were taking chances, and that's what led to the first 18 points of this game. The Tigers needed to replicate that, and you have a really good strike weapon there in Samuel Afinu that can do that. So they probably should have gone to him a couple more times. They didn't, which was quite unfortunate. Terrell May, he had 6 runs for 50 metres in 61 minutes of footy. Like, I get it. 40 tackles, 0 missed. It's unbelievable. Like, we talk about Terrell May every week. His defensive displays are always good. He plays big minutes. But 6 runs for 50 meters is fucking just, it's not great. It's not great. Yeah, sure, they didn't have a lot of ball at stages throughout this game, but 6 runs for 50 meters, playing big minutes, Terrell May, isn't good enough. The last 2 weeks from Terrell May have not been great. I think Alex Twall even, not getting over the 100-meter mark there, played 53 minutes. Obviously, the little spurt late in the game. Again, 40 tackles, only the 1 miss. I love the defensive display from both of these guys, but the attack tonight, the running the footy and trying to get their team some good yardage, it just was not good enough tonight. And a couple of their last tackle plays late in the second half were not good enough either. Completed at 78%, sure, but I guess the 12% there that they had missed was off the back of really poor last tackle completions. For the Bulldogs, very good. I thought that even though they completed at 74%, as I said, the difference in this game was that they were taking risks. The difference in this game was that they were going side to side. They were changing direction. They were really trying to throw this West Tigers side off. They were offloading the footy and creating opportunities. The Tigers didn't do that. For a long period of this game, the Tigers did not do that. They didn't offload the footy. They didn't change direction. They didn't try and chance their arm. First half was very conservative, and it sort of ruined the rest of the game for them. So, really tough night out for the Tigers, for the Dogs. Very good. Connor Tracy had some massive moments, I think, just clearing the ball up. You reckon it was a mid-game in the chat there? Yes, I think it was a pretty mid-game, to be fair. I think that the Bulldogs the Tigers weren't great tonight. The Tigers were not great. We talked about the Tigers. We'll talk about the Bulldogs. As I said, clean-up work was really good. I thought their kick chase was a massive difference. Kick chase was huge in this game for the Doggies. Just led by Burton a lot of the time, led by a couple of their edge players. Josh Curran especially was outstanding. He ended up playing in the edge in this game. Starting, I thought he did extremely well. I thought that Max King was really good too. Leo Thompson even had a solid game. Jamin Salmon at lock was outstanding. Was the best game I've seen him have at lock. I think Jamin Salmon. I think it's the best game I've seen him have in a long time for the Bulldogs as well, just quietly. Preston was good. I thought that kick out was dangerous coming back into this side. Obviously had to go off the field with a little groin niggle there, which will be interesting to take a look at as well and see if there's any injury there for him and he's going to be out next week. But he just seems like a tough enough hombre to play through that sort of stuff. So we'll have to wait and see on Kikau. Burton and Anari Chuala, I thought were quite good in the centres there. Anari Chuala was quite dangerous. It was just the Bulldogs willing to chance their arm, kick chase, line speed, change of direction and attack, offloading. This is the best the Bulldogs play when they play this sort of footy, and they just, especially with a bit of a smaller, more mobile pack, especially the bench guys, they play this sort of footy, they're going to win a lot of their games. Even though, yes, this was against an underperforming Tigers side and against a lot of other top 8 sides, they're probably not going to go as well. I think that this is the product of what the Bulldogs should be doing. Offloads, being testy. I think that Galvin played a solid game as well off the back of Sean O'Sullivan doing majority of the kicking too, and SOS only got 68 minutes too. Sean O'Sullivan only got 68 minutes. I think Bailey Hayward actually went into the halves now that I look at the stats for this game. I think that Bailey Hayward went into the halves and they brought Gordon Chan Tong on at 9, which was very interesting there. But SOS was great. Kicking game was good, and it was the difference too. 2 40-20s in this game as well for SOS. It was absolutely massive. Big shout out to Rena Karma as well. I thought he was very good under the high ball for the Doggies, which made things very, very easy for them as well, just coming out of their own end, not as many errors. Let's flip back to the start of the day, which was the Raiders getting the job done over the Bunnies, 34 points to 24. The Raiders were very good. They were definitely the better side in that first half. I thought that they did some really good things attacking-wise. Just Kaya Weeks playing some good footy, venturing both sides of the field as well. I find with Kaya Weeks, you can sometimes get very trapped on that left-hand side of the field and just stay in that left corridor. going both sides of the ruck, very dangerous. And just with how fast he is, especially off the back of that Ethan Strange try as well, he was very, very good. Thought that Owen Paddy was good again this week as well, starting. Obviously scored the first try of the game pretty early on, but had some really nice moments out of the 9 position as well. Huddy Young was good. Very unfortunate. Obviously, that's the main talking point of this game, right? It is Hudson Young. Obviously done his Achilles in this game, and he's going to be out for the season. And you'd think probably a little bit of next season as well, just with how long Xavier Coates has been out, obviously with his Achilles injury that he suffered in the offseason. So wishing our man Hudson Young all the very best. It is a shit injury for such a good human to have. Particularly just coming back from Origin, a really good series for him as well. We do wish him all the very best as Hudson Young. Hopefully he can focus a little bit on the business, step away from footy for a little bit. And, he's obviously got his brand young supplements, which he's doing very well in as well. So he can put some time into that, which it might be a bit of positive for him, a bit of a positive way for him to look at it maybe over the next couple of weeks. But, we do wish him all the best. Hopefully he recovers well soon and we can get him back on the field, hopefully early next season. Zach Hosking was very good again. I think that he's going to be the obvious option for them with our man Hudson Young being gone. I think that Zach Hosking is going to be the obvious guy to slot into that left back row position. Corey Horsburgh obviously dropped out. He dropped to the bench, I believe, prior to kickoff as well. So he'll probably, you'd think, would go to 13. Maybe Adam Mariota or Papali'i starting. Or depending on what they want to do there at 13. Dane Laurie's played there as well before. He came on at 13 for the last 20-odd minutes of this game as well. So it really depends on what they want to do, the Canberra Raiders. But Zach Hosking for me would be the front runner. A guy that not a lot of people are going to be talking about for this position too, or even just for a position on the bench once they put Hosking out and out in that starting side, is going to be Matty Nicholson. He's going to be a really interesting watch because even when the Raiders were decimated with a couple of injuries through the middle, we did see that Matty Nicholson wasn't really on the bench. I think he was in 20th or 21st man a couple of those games, but he wasn't really included a lot during that period. So it'd be interesting to see if there's an injury there or something with Matty Nicholson, something that I don't know about. There might be something there, but he'll be a guy that sort of gets looked at, I think, as well. You got Simi Sasangi there. Maybe it's a chance to move Seb Chris back into the centres and Simi Sasangi into the back row. Whatever they decide to do, I think they'll do very well. I will say, Simi Sasangi at centre, unbelievable again this week in his second week back. 24 runs, 209 run meters, 72 post contact, 4 tackle busts, 19 tackles. He was outstanding in that centre position, and I think you've realistically just got to leave him there too, to be honest. I know he's the bigger body and he's more of a back rower, but I think that centre is his spot. Noah Martin played 80 minutes. I thought he played very well too. I thought that Adam Mariota did well in the starting role. Papali'i didn't get too much time, 29 minutes off the bench. Ethan Sanders, again, with a bit of go forward in that first half. The kicking game was good. Touching on the second half, I think that they made a couple of errors there late, which sort of forced them into doing a lot of defensive work. And the Rabbitohs just did a really good job of keeping the ball in their hands and playing some really good footy towards the back end of the game, that last 20 minutes or so. They were very dangerous. Guys like Cody Walker started playing some good footy, set up a couple of tries, scored a bit of a controversial one. I thought it was a knock-on off Cody Walker as well. Then I've watched the footage back since. And Ethan Sanders' hand does touch it prior to Cody Walker. So I actually don't even think Cody Walker gets a hand to it, to be fair, watching the footage back. They have a really good little review of it. I think Soapbox posted it in slow-mo, NRL Soapbox on Instagram. You can see it sort of touches Sanders' hand and sort of bounces off. So it was a knock-on from Sanders, so it technically is a try. But yeah, look, just in regards to the second half of this game, as I said, Cody Walker started playing some good footy. Ashton Ward was very safe with his kicking game as well. He had a really good game. I think Ashton Ward, Keon Kalamatangi, very strong for us, was a big difference. Didn't play 80, but played 66 and had a pretty similar work rate there, 192 meters. Dave Fafita, Ewan Aiken, very good. Murray was outstanding. So good performance second half wise from the Bunnies, but the first half was abysmal. The Raiders too fast for the Bunnies in attack. caught them off guard, and the first half was really bad. What was the score at halftime? It was like 28-6. So not too many more points scored from the Raiders in the second half. It was just a really poor game from the Bunnies in that first half, and then they flipped the script in the second half, attacked a lot better, forced a couple of errors out of the Raiders, and that was the story of that one. This will probably be one of the games of the round, if not the game of the round. The Brisbane Penrith game is probably the game of the round, but this is probably close second. I thought that the Dragons did very, very well here to stay in this one. 20 points to 12 of the final scoreline. The Warriors getting the job done over the Dragons only by one try. You look at where the Warriors are at this year, they're second or third place. The Dragons are obviously a lot further down. They're 17th at the moment, only with the 2 wins on the board. So fantastic result here for the Dragons for me. I think even in a loss, you take a lot of confidence by only being down by 8 points from the guys in the top 4 at the moment. I think that shows a lot about where the Dragons are at, just in regards to their young forwards and how resilient they are. Really impressive performance from the Dragons. The Couchman boys were definitely the standout. I thought they were very good through the middle there. Toby played 80 minutes and Ryan played 72. So they both played pretty close to 80 minutes. 167 run meters there from Toby Couchman. Ryan Couchman, 125. Just got through plenty of work. 56 tackles with only 2 missed from Toby. 47 tackles, 0 missed from Ryan. So they just are absolute mongrels. They get through a ton of work. Toby and Ryan Couchman, outstanding stuff from them again this week. They are future Origin players. I think Toby will play next year. I'm pretty convinced if he continues this form, he will play Origin next year. Mark my words. Look, I think that kicking game-wise as well, I thought that Atkinson and Kyle had a pretty solid game, particularly in that second half, and they were trying to chase points. First half as well, they were pretty good. I thought that the outside backs were dangerous as well. Matt Finney was very dangerous, 176 run meters there for him. Gutho at the back at fullback was pretty good too. I'm still a little bit worried about him, the prospect of him moving into the centers next year. I think laterally he doesn't move as well as he used to, obviously, and we can sort of see that in little flickers at fullback, but just the skill that he has and the knowledge that he has of the game and just getting in the right spots, he's still a very good fullback. Clint Gutherson. For the Warriors, they were pretty good throughout the majority of this one. You could argue that for the most part, they were the better team. You had, obviously, Tane Tuapiki out the back there at fullback, just unbelievable performance from him. You did have as well, where am I going? Dallin obviously went over for a try. He was very good out of yardage too. Started their sets off well. So did Alafiana Khan-Pereira. Leotau had a strong game. Chanel and Tamani Martin both played a really good game of footy. Fish and Barnett through the middle. Aaron Clark, with how much ascendancy they had. You then pair that with Tanastau Smith, 155 meters off the bench as well. Dimitrix, 78. They got so much ascendancy through the middle. The defense of the Dragons was outstanding, absolutely outstanding in this game. To keep this Warriors side, who had a lot of ascendancy, to only 20 points, I think is massive for the Dragon season. As I said, they'll take a lot of confidence out of this game, the St. George Illawarra Dragons. The Warriors, I think that they will be happy with the 2 points here. I thought they played really well. I don't think there's necessarily anything to be too disappointed at. They completed at 86%, and they had a really good roll on through the middle. And, even against those better sides, it's probably a very similar scoreline here for the Warriors. The Dragons were just outstanding, very resilient through the middle, defensively very strong, and they obviously got the job done there, the Warriors. But the Dragons, very, very good, and they'll take a lot of confidence out of that game. There you go, guys. That's going to be it for us. Make sure to go and follow Big LEZ'S League there on Insta if you haven't already. That's our Instagram page. Also, subscribe to the YouTube if you enjoyed this one. We're going to do a couple more streams throughout the year as well. Not next week, but the week after. So around 22 onwards, we'll stream at least one game a week. So make sure to stay tuned for that as well. But that's end of stream. We'll see you guys later. See you guys.